Hello and welcome to the Rangers Review morning briefing with me, Jonny McFarlane. Today I'm joined by Derek Clark with me in the hot seat. Derek, does it feel a bit odd sitting there as a pundit as opposed to the host?
Absolutely does, Johnny. Of course, we've had some laptop issues this week. Hopefully they will be resolved a little later on today, and then next week I'll be back on the hockey, as they say, back in the hosting chair. You've been stepping in this week, Johnny. How's it been?
It's been absolutely fine, Derek. I mean, the smooth professionalism that everyone's used to with you has been thrown out the window, obviously, as McFarlane shambles and guffaws his way through presenting. But there you go. We'll get there in the end. You'll be back soon and standard service will be resumed. Derek, what I think is quite interesting is that people clearly get to know your personality as they watch these videos, because I've got one here from RFC 55 Stars comment coming in. Derek's out buying a new laptop. Does this mean Johnny is a tech guru today? We're all doomed.
You're a tech guru, Johnny? You know your IT?
Certainly not. I have a wife who's a tech guru who basically I just pass on all technical requests to. So I'm okay, Derek. I'm okay. But normally if anything goes wrong, I'm like, Nicola, please sort this out. And she does. So that's
my technical knowledge goes as far as turn it off and on again, and that's about it, really. So not my forte.
Yeah, and we're getting a lot of stick for being a little late again today, Derek. Scott Patterson saying Rangers Review is reliable as Ali McCoy's wristwatch of late, which kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
I've been getting a few comments as well, Johnny. People have been messaging me over the last couple of days about the old the membership scheme. So apparently, folks, it has to be a desktop. You can get the option on the homepage on the desktop. You can sign up, but there is also an option if you have an iPhone or an Android as well. I was on YouTube this morning. There's a few talk me through help videos, so you can get the sort of desktop version up on your phone. Then you can sign up and become a member. So I was getting a few messages in DMs this morning. People just want to sign up, but they're struggling to do so. So there is an option, folks, to do it on your phone. But if you've got a PC or a laptop, then that's probably the easiest way to do so.
Adam, friend of the show, Adam Thornton has come in with the comments here. Only just got broadband in Leith. Give Johnny a break. I don't live in Leith anymore, Adam. You should know that. Anyway, nonsense. We've got lots to get through, loads to talk about, Derek. As you say, we've got this new membership option. Guys, there'll be a lot of you that don't want to join this because you feel like, times are tough and stuff like that, and that's absolutely fine. Nothing will change on the channel. We'll still have the morning briefs. We'll still have interviews with people about new players, about potential European opponents. Everything that you've come to expect from the Rangers Review YouTube channel will still be there. But when we talk to you guys about what we do, the thing that you always say you like is the morning briefing, is the video stuff. So we've been endeavouring to find a way in which we can basically up quite significantly the content. So that's what we're doing with this membership. We're giving you a load of options, a load of perks, if you will, if you join up for $2.99 a month on YouTube. It's separate to the subscription on the website. If you do that, we'll give you 3 to 5 extra videos per week. You will get priority in terms of the comments. If you stick a comment in, you'll notice, unfortunately, the comments are green. But that's green for go. And that's Mr. YouTube's fault. There's nothing we can do about that. You get priority comments. You'll get the extra content. You'll get an ad-free version of the morning briefing. So I know a lot of you love the fact when you tune in live, there's no adverts or anything like that. But if you miss it, then there's quite a few adverts. And people all the time say too many adverts, etc., etc. So if you join up in the membership, there's no adverts. That's absolutely the case. There's also other stuff that's on there. We're going to put out videos 4 hours early, etc., etc. So there's a lot of extra content. There's a lot of extra perks. Now, people are asking, I can't find this join us button on the YouTube channel. Basically, guys, you can't really miss it. It's right next to subscribe. I'm going to push up a wee image, if I can find it, which will allow me to show you exactly how to do that. I hope. I'm sort of flailing here because I'm trying to find the image yet. There it is there. So I'll stick this up on the screen and you can see, because it's circled, it's uploading at the moment. But yes, you can see the join button up here. It's circled in yellow next to sort of top right-hand corner of the screen, and you should be able to, once you click on there, you should be able to join. So we've already got well over 100 members. It's motoring. Thanks to everyone who supported us. It's a big help, and it allows us to kind of reshuffle the pack in terms of what we do. And simply put, the more successful it is, the more investment we can put into the staffing, and therefore the more content we'll have. It's that straightforward. So thanks to everyone who's getting involved. But now that I've talked about that, I probably should talk about our fantastic sponsor, Seneca. Derek, can you do the spiel?
Yeah, the top dogs, as you all know, folks, if you're looking for a hair transplant or looking to restore some lost self-confidence, and these are the guys to go to. As I've mentioned many times before, all the transplants carried out by doctors. So no cowboys here, that's for sure. And they've won many, the multi-award winning clinic as well. Tim Viss, as I mentioned, Scottish rugby player, got his transplant with Seneca. So yeah, listen, if you're looking to do a bit of restoration on the top of the old heads, then these are the guys to call. So yeah, there you go. If you want as I mentioned, Kamar Roof is one that had a hair transplant recently. Dick Advocate, of course, Chris Boyd, to name but a few. If you're looking for one of those sort of reinvigorations of the top of your head, then phone these guys.
Fantastic, Derek. Right, we're going to get stuck wired into the comments. We've got a lot of new members coming in. Thank you, guys. Still a bit of confusion about how to do it. We've got Ian Thompson says it's not beside my subscribe button. Must be because I'm using the app on the TV. That is correct. Aldo the Sniper McNaught. That's new. The Sniper. Where did that come from, Aldo? If you're on your phone, you can't join. It has to be a laptop or a desktop. Yeah. So there you go. As Derek said, thank you, Aldo. I don't know why you've added that Sniper. Perhaps you can tell us in the comments. That'd be interesting. Right. Let's talk about... well, I've got another question here that we can go to. I was going to answer this yesterday. Johnny, spill the beans. Who's this mysterious number 9 you've been keeping up your sleeve? Time to spill.
We've been teasing, Johnny.
I'm going to be honest, right? The number 9 I was referring to there was Josh Maja, a player that I've been hearing noises about coming to Rangers, or certainly Rangers' interest, for 6 months at least. Now, there's a sort of complication around Josh Maja, which resolves around his contract and whether or not Bordeaux are promoted into League Two. Now, there's an extremely complicated situation going on regarding that, because Bordeaux's match was actually cancelled halfway through it after a serious incident occurred in the stadium. So they needed to win the game, I think, by a large margin. I think it was something like 4 goals. So they were unlikely to go up. But it's crucial because Josh Maja has a contract clause that allows him to leave on a free. Now, I've watched quite a bit of Maja over the years. I saw him in action for Sunderland, where he was such an exciting young player and had such a good spell that he got himself a really, really good move to France. I think he's a guy with basically everything in his locker. You know, he's quick, he's strong, he can go long, he can go in behind, he can hold up, he can play left or right. A really, really good signing this boy would be. What I would say is it's kind of gone a bit quiet on that. That could mean one of two things. That could mean that it's happening, or it could mean that it's not. And I don't have any more information than that. It's been widely reported that Josh Maja's been a Rangers target. But that's the guy I was referring to. And I've just heard a lot in the background about this guy and why Rangers might be interested in picking him up. And it's actually one of those, when you watch him play and when you watch what he brings to the table, you can absolutely see why someone like that would be at the top of Michael Beale's wish list. He's the right age. So if Rangers could actually persuade him to arrive, I think that would be an absolutely superb signing. But if Josh Maja is available for a free transfer, Derek, Rangers will absolutely not be alone in looking to seal that deal. And it'll be very, very interesting to see, once this Bordeaux situation is cleared up, where it leaves him.
Yeah, I've not seen much of him, I've got to say, Johnny. I did see him at a Sunderland affair, but it came to prominence, of course, in that documentary. But from then on, I've not really followed his career much. I know he's been pretty impressive at times for Bordeaux. I was actually surprised they were in League Two, is that how they call it over there, because they were a top team back in the day. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can make it back into the League One. But I think it would be a good acquisition. As much as there's not been much noise about him recently, there's been a lot of noise on Cyril Dessers, who for me looks to be sort of similar in stature to Josh Maja. Of course, he is years older than him, of course. But I wonder if Dessers gets over the line, if they'll continue that pursuit of Maja. I've said on record, I think Rangers need two. I think I've said actually they need 4 forwards, but 2 strikers. Of course, Morelos has departed. Kent's away. Who else? You've got Sakala and Roof there. You can't really rely on Roof. Sakala as a squad player, I would say at best. He's not someone that you would hang your hat on to lead the line for you. So they're going to need a front man, a focal point up there. And Dessers, to me, everything points towards this guy coming in and leading the line. So I wonder, can Maja play different positions across the front three? Because I know when we spoke to the Feyenoord podcaster during the week, he says he's just an out-and-out number 9. Of course, Čolak, I forgot all about Čolak as well, of course. So for me, I would be keeping him around. But yeah, I wonder if it will be like Scott Patterson says there, one or the other. Do you think there's a scope to bring in 2, Johnny?
I think they need to bring in 2, Derek. If you look at the profile of Dessers, he's of an age whereby the weight of expectation, the burden of expectation is going to be on his shoulders. If you've got a younger guy like Josh Maja coming in alongside him, that takes a little bit of the pressure off. It's a big ask for a 24-year-old to come in and be the guy that all the expectation is poured on. Not so much for a 28-year-old who's already been at Feyenoord, scored 10 goals in the Conference League, and been a pro at the top end of the game throughout his whole career. I like this idea of having 2. You remember Pedro Caixinha? It didn't quite work for him, but he went out and he got an established Mexican international as a number 9, whose name escapes me now. Herrera. Yeah. And alongside him, he brought in a young, plucky upstart to sort of challenge for that position in Alfredo Morelos. And we know what happened there. Herrera was quickly sidelined because Morelos was just insatiable lust for goals at that point. Really just hit the ground running. But having the older guy there, the more experienced guy there, I think it just allowed Morelos to arrive without any pressure. The pressure was very much on Herrera, and I mean, let's be honest, he didn't live up to that pressure.
No.
But I think the idea of having an older guy, more experienced, and a younger guy as a duo, if you're talking about bringing in number 9s, I really like that. I think Maja's more of a hybrid player, and we know Beale loves hybrid players. Yeah. He can play in multiple positions. I don't think he's just a guy who's just stuck to number 9. I'm talking about wide, obviously. I don't think he's going to play as a number 10 or anything like that, but he's certainly capable of playing across the front 3, where I think Dessers is much more of a fixed target man type. A guy who's going to be able to hold the ball up, physically robust. I watched a fair few videos of him playing, and I think it's clear that it's a very strong player in terms of his physical attributes and a good finisher. Also seen some misses, but listen, every striker's got that. If you looked at a compilation video of Alan McCoist's misses through the years, you wouldn't be thinking it was a 355 goal superstar. So they've got to be in that position to take the chances, and ultimately Dessers, I think, is a guy that is very interesting for Rangers. I don't think he's going to score a barrel ton of goals, but if you've got wide players or players who are playing this kind of hybrid position that Beale likes, a sort of 9.5 almost, then I think Maja's a very, very good fit for that and could get a lot of goals if Dessers is the guy that's taking the hits.
Where does that leave Čolak then? Because I know we were speaking after the St Mirren game, and they said that he's determined to make the number 9 shirt his own. there's only two doesn't go into one. So Dessers arrives, he'll be wanting to. You just said there he's not prolific in front of goal. I think he scored 7 goals for Cremonese last season. Is there a shout for Čolak? Does Čolak have a future if Dessers comes in? Do you think?
I don't think so. I've got to be honest. I think that Čolak will leave. He just signed up with a new agency. We know what that means. Listen, Michael Beale's made great play of the fact that he's not really seen a fit and firing Antonio Čolak apart from that game against Hibs, where he was excellent. He's had a number of issues. But I just think Čolak isn't really Beale's cup of tea. I might be totally wrong. I might be reading this wrong, because Beale hasn't said that, that's for sure. But I just look at him in terms of what I see on the pitch. I don't think he's the most mobile. I don't think his natural game is about linking the play and drawing people in. And I don't think he's a natural footballer. He's a fantastic finisher. He's got ice in his veins in front of goal. There's no doubt about that. You're not getting many misses from Antonio Čolak. I think the team has to do a lot to put him in those positions, and I'm not sure that's the way Beale wants to play. I think he's looking for players who are a little bit more agile, a little bit more liquid, a little bit more pacey. And
well, Dessers doesn't seem that sort of player in effect, doesn't he?
No,
I mean,
but
he's a number 9, and that's it.
But so there's a crucial thing here, Derek, and that's between the two positions that Beale's kind of looking at. So it's almost like it's like Liverpool, isn't it? It's the number 9 isn't really a number 9. They're more like a 10, but they're dropping into those pockets and holding the ball up and linking play. And then you've got the 2 wingers that are going in behind as the 2 number 9s. You saw how many goals Salah scored. Saw how many goals Mane scored. They're not strikers, they're wingers. But that's because Robert Firmino was so good at linking into the play and connecting midfield to the strikers and allowing the play to take place around them. And I think that's what Dessers would offer. Yes, you're right. He's not that kind of liquid guy that I'm talking about. He's not a pacey hybrid frontman, but he can do what Alfredo did so successfully in the 55 season, which is pull defenders out and leave space in behind. Because you've got a big guy like that who's, I don't think Dessers is a lump either, Derek. I think he's got a bit of mobility about him still. Yeah. He's not an older guy. He's 28. He's at the peak of his career. And I think he can link the play much better than Čolak. And I think it's more of his natural game. I think Čolak is, to use the Arsene Wenger parlance, a fox in the box. He's the guy that is the penalty box striker, bit of a throwback, really, really good finisher. That's his key attribute. I'm not sure that's the way Michael Beale plays. That might be wrong, and he might find a way to make that work. I don't think the evidence is there to support that, though.
Yeah. See, the fee, I mean, you mentioned 28 years of age. The fee is going to be pretty substantial from what we're hearing, of course. I think Cremonese holding out for pretty much for what they paid, if not more than what they paid Genk for him. They're not going to get that, I don't think. But do you have any qualms about the sort of fee that Rangers are reportedly paying for a guy at 28 years of age? Is there going to be do you think they're going to get much back, recoup much of that back if they were to sell him on, do you think?
I think generally, Derek, probably I do have qualms, and probably you would have questions, but you can't just always buy project players if you're Glasgow Rangers Football Club. You need quality in that are going to, especially when you've not won the league, you need to have guys that can
finish articles, don't you?
Yeah, hit the ground running, experienced players. So I get why you'd want to do that with a number 9. If you're going to do it, that's the place to do it. And I mean, Derek, I thought your interview with the Feyenoord fan again was really good and kind of illustrated a value from a position of absolute with no agenda. He doesn't. He's just basing it on what he saw, what his value was. And he was 3.5 to 4 million euros. And I think that's around about what Rangers are looking to pay.
I think it said a lot as well. I mean, they were all hoping that he would stay at Feyenoord. They had that option to buy. Who knows why they never exercised that at the end of his time there at Feyenoord, because, like I say, he was the top goal scorer in the Conference League as they made the final. So Who knows why he wasn't a Feyenoord player at the end of that, but certainly by all accounts, no, Cremonese had a pretty disappointing season in Serie A. But if you're playing in Italian football in the top league, then you must have something about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Beanie Smith has given me pelters as usual. Nobody's interested in what clips you've watched on YouTube. Anyone can do that. Never heard a guy talk so much beep in my life. Sounds like my wife, Derek, to be honest.
Is that our alias, is it?
Well, I mean, I'm not an expert in Dutch football. I don't watch Feyenoord play, or hadn't watched Feyenoord play. Cremonese are not exactly on the box every week, are they? They're not the key one you would watch in Serie A. I tend to watch Napoli and AC Milan and Inter when they're playing Juventus. I'm not saying that I know a lot about Cremonese, so you have to go and watch clips and see what you make of the guy. It's not by any means scientific, but what I would say is if you're interested, someone who has watched a lot of them, someone who has properly scouted them, is Josh Maja, and on the website today there is a deep dive into his strengths and weaknesses and what he could potentially bring Rangers. It's unfortunate Josh is away on a wee holiday to recharge his batteries, so he's not here.
He's down to the Lake District by all accounts, so lucky him. Nice part of the world down there.
Yeah. Right, Derek. Listen, I've got to run. Something's come up today that I need to deal with. So let's call this short for just now. We've had plenty to talk about, but we'll get a lot more in the days ahead. I think we're going to come back for the members later on today, and we'll have another blast at this. It's a little bit shorter than normal, but unfortunately there is something I'm getting pulled away to go and do. So let's say to the members, guys, we'll be back at about 3:30-ish. We'll put something up, and we'll have a look at what comes up in the day, and come back to you with more information about the various transfer situations that are ongoing. Because I think we're getting to a situation where we're gonna see a few more coming in now in the next few days, and certainly in the next 10 days, I would expect that we're going to have more news. Just before I go, world's greatest DJ makes a very good point. I got very excited watching Carlos Pena on YouTube. That didn't end well. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. I remember watching those YouTube videos of Carlos Pena and being absolutely blown away. And then obviously what happened. So it's a very important point about watching players on YouTube. But I think if you're looking to get a sense of what a player can and can't do, there's often clips on YouTube that can
you could look good on YouTube, Johnny.
Well, you can be made to look good or bad. They can point you in a direction, but at least you get a sense of the type of player because you're getting some video footage. But anyway, let's press on, and like I say, we'll catch up, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. You can join our new YouTube subscription channel by hitting join. If you do that, it'd be much appreciated. Thanks to all of you who've already signed up today. That's absolutely brilliant. We thank you, and we're delighted to have your support. So thanks, guys. As I say, we'll be back for the members later on this afternoon. Until then, thanks for watching.